Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Fintech Hunting podcast. We have a very special guest for you today. He's an industry thought leader, a fintech innovator, and a champion of service excellence and process optimization. Please help me welcome back to the show, Dan Bailey, SVP of WFG Enterprise Solutions. Dan, it's great to have you back.
Michael, thank you for having me. And where's the applause, right? There's supposed to be an applause button or something after that great introduction.
Believe me, there's plenty of applause happening. You always have a wealth of knowledge and expertise that you share. So let's kind of start off with what are some of the market conditions you're seeing so we at least kind of have a baseline that we're starting with?
Sure. I think improving conditions, talking internally and talking with other folks in the industry, you look back at the last couple of years and you can just see folks that are eligible to refinance, obviously peaking throughout the course of the pandemic. And then from like July 2022 all the way till last September, a little spike there. And this year, it's been really low activities, but we've got good signs, right? We know that the Fed decreased interest rates. While that doesn't necessarily impact mortgage interest rates, it does leave to a little bit more optimism. And I think we're seeing rates now in that 6.36, 6.4 type rate for a 30-year conforming loan, which is really good. And forecasts say that, hey, as we get into the end of this year and into early next year, we'll see improving conditions, especially as it relates to mortgage interest rates, which is better for everybody, right? It's better for resale, certainly better for refinance volume and home equity volume, where I concentrate my business, right? As those numbers, get lower on an interest rate, the numbers of folks that would benefit from refinance increase. So, certainly I think conditions are getting better. I'm more optimistic. I'm an optimistic person by nature, but more optimistic as we get through the end of this year and on into next year for sure.
Well, and you guys do a great job of listening to your customer base. What are the challenges? What are the pain points? So talk to me a little bit about what problems is WFG solving for right now that lenders are experiencing and ultimately impacting customers.
Right. I think always, we have the mindset that we operate in an environment of continuous improvement, right? What we do today, we can't do tomorrow. We got to continually get better at what we do, right? And the focus of that, the genesis of that, is always how we better serve our customers, right? And that leads to things like taking time and cost out of the transaction, right? How do we reduce the time that it takes for us to process a transaction, a loan transaction, get it to closing faster, get it originated faster, get on the books faster. But while that's important, one of the jokes I make is, I can tell you how fast I could turn a title or clear title or close a loan or fund or whatever. That's all great. But if I'm not a pleasure to work with, no one wants to be around me, right? So it's really a focus on the two things: process efficiency, using technology as tools to get better at what we do, but then also focusing, allowing, and positioning our employees to give the best customer service that they can, right? I want Michael Hammond to know that, hey, listen, I love working with those guys. I'm going to work with them every time, every future transaction I have. That's who I'm going with because they treated me right. It was a really enjoyable experience. It went smoothly, and everything was awesome. That's really two things that we focus on.
Well, and I think one thing that is really important that our audience understand is it's great that people say, hey, let's give a great borrower experience, but you guys actually track it and can quantify it. Isn't that correct?
That's right. One of the things I like to, we kind of have, call them our 5 cornerstones, right? Which I know might sound a little goofy with 5, but of those 5, 4 of those are focused on customer service, right? Reinventing the customer experience because of you, right? We're only here because of our lenders and their customers, the people that we serve, so we really live and breathe customer service. And that leads into how we measure. As I mentioned, SLAs is one thing, but how can I objectively tell you that your employees and your customers like to work with me? Well, across our organization, we use NPS scores, which is simple, right? Would you recommend me to a friend or a colleague? That's the kind of core of what that NPS score does. We've used that now for more than 7 years, not 70, 7 years. And, our scores are regularly 70 or 90 and above, right? 70 is world-class, we're 90 and above. And in instances where we receive a negative comment, we utilize dashboards so I could see that negative comment immediately as it's seen, react to it, and try to cure that issue that might have occurred. Sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes it's a problem. But there's always things, and I think anybody always likes to hear, from someone if there's an issue. If they're not happy, it's always great to hear from someone. And I can tell you a number of times we've been able to contact borrowers, talk to them about their issue, what the problem was, explain it, work it out, and really help them understand why it occurred, apologize when necessary. And that goes a very long way of building a lasting customer service environment for us.
I love it. And it's a great example of doing it right, tracking and measuring
Mhm.
so that you can have that constant improvement. Well, we know in today's market, customer acquisition and retention are paramount for lenders. Where does Volley fit into that equation?
Volley helps quite a bit, right? I mean, Volley is our CRM, our automated marketing portal that we have. So it's really vital at a lot of different things. One, if you're running a lending institution, you want to make sure that you have outbound marketing, right? You want to
Yep.
make sure that it's compliant, right? So, Volley comes with a library of compliant messaging, whether it's letters, marketing, whatever it may be that you want to send out to a potential customer or an existing customer. It's all there, right? So your loan officers could pick that information, pre-populates all their data, and keeps them in contact with their customers, right? They might not be in a situation today where they're ripe for a mortgage, but maybe down the road they are, right? So you want to keep in contact with them, and Volley really allows us to do all that stuff, right? And it's easy, it's simple to use, it's not overly burdensome, it's not some huge system that you need 17 administrators to figure out. We have a team that helps you get it set up quickly so you can begin using those tools to get more business, retain business, convert business, and keep it for the lifetime of that transaction. Interestingly, too, we also introduced a product earlier this year where loan officers can now partner with their realtor partners, right? So if you're a partner with a realtor and they have a new listing, I get a notification that there's a new listing, and then automatically I can generate marketing materials specific to that loan officer, specific to my loan programs, and specific to that property. Makes it really easy to market that property and for everybody to be successful in that transaction.
Love it. Always great stuff on that. And let's keep going because you guys have a host of products and solutions. Title production and closing are some of the most complex steps
Mhm.
in the whole mortgage life cycle. What are you guys doing to help simplify that process for lenders?
So I think, over these last few years, it's been a little bit slower than we'd like to see, right? I mean, we all know this, right? The industry's been down a little bit, but then we didn't just sit on our hands and say, oh, well, let's just wait for what's going to happen next. Really, our focus was taking some of the tools that, we had launched during the pandemic and pre-pandemic periods that would enable upfront evaluation at point of sale valuation of title to provide loan officers and lenders with better information about that particular property, whether it was going to be complex from a curative standpoint or not. We started really embedding that into our internal production systems. And the thought there was, we've always run an automated environment, but now with AI and with other tools that are continually developing, enhancing, we were able to continue to develop that title automation. And it's important because it allows us, one, to deliver our products timely. Right? That's the most important thing. Everybody wants to know if I place an order, I'm going to get my title back, within a day or within 2 days. So that's fine. The other thing it really allows us to do too is to scale, right? We know what's going to happen, right? We've been in this business for a long time.
Right.
Rates will eventually go to a point where we're going to have a refi boom, right? It happens quick, and you can't just go out and hire 100 people, plug them in seats, and hope things work, right? So we've really focused on building our internal processes, especially around title production, to make sure that they could scale when that volume hits, and we don't lose any quality and we don't lose any turn time. And the same product that they got pre-pandemic, same pre-spike is there, and it's the same quality, same turn times, and there's no disruption to that. So we focused a lot on that, and then obviously, adopting the AI and many other spaces in our environment, from a post-closing document review, settlement statement preparation. There's a lot of different avenues that we use automated tools to really help us speed along the process and make it easier. And again, really the focus of those tools too is, yes, we want to speed things along, but I also want to make sure that it helps my escrow officers, my closers, put them in a position where they can provide better service, spend more time talking to customers, spend more time talking to loan officers, troubleshooting true issues. If we can do that, I think we'll be very successful.
Talk to me a little bit about, the latest innovations with value trust solutions and how you're streamlining valuations and really enhancing that overall borrower experience.
Yeah, I think with value trust, we like to say, national environment with local contact, right? So, as an AMC, we manage appraisers across the country. We treat them extremely well. And then through our system, we're able to manage orders, not just for our AMC, but also for, any other type of vendor relationship that you have. And I think the value there is that, if you want to place orders with WFG and you want to use services like, appraisal services and title services, you just go to one spot. You don't have to go to two different platforms. You don't have to worry about, who's ordering what. We can manage that all for you. And then the nice thing is that platform also allows you to digitize the materials that you receive, right? So you get an appraisal report that's digitized, not a PDF form that you got to QC review. Title reports that are digitized, it's all pushed back into your system, into whatever fields you want them to be in, or however you want to digest that data. It's up to you as the lender to do that. We'll partner and help you with that, right? How can we use the information that we have outside of just the traditional sense of check the box, got my appraisal, check the box, got my
Right.
title, clear to clear. How do we use all this other information to really streamline that overall process and make it more sufficient and efficient for your employees, for your consumers, and ultimately so you can close more loans.
Talk to me about you briefly mentioned AI, and obviously
Mhm.
that's a hot topic in the industry. Some people are delivering measurable solutions that are getting an ROI. Some people it's still hype. Some haven't even done anything. Where do you see AI making a measurable difference today?
So, AI is a broad term now, right?
That's right.
It goes from chat GTP to automation, or, it kind of encompasses a lot of different things. Like I talked about earlier, we've used AI tools to help enhance our title search and document evaluation processes, right? That allows us to get quicker at what we do. I think we estimate we saved about 25% off of our overall internal manufacturing process to produce title. But then beyond that, I think where I've seen, interestingly, with just the tools that you could use from meeting management, right? I know this sounds goofy, right? But if you have a tool that's able to listen to your meeting, take your notes, right, and digest those and help and circulate those, it's a lot further on than what you were before. And then
Right.
also just so that helps with client communication. Also helps with using tools to have more succinct emails, right? So it's really, we have some tools that really help our production, and then we have other tools that we've been using to help our communication with our customers. And I think, all of those are very exciting. I think we're at the very, very tip of the iceberg. A lot of AI tools that are out there. We'll continue to see it grow. Our plan, obviously, is to continue to leverage those tools. Again, with the theory that, we want to deliver our products with high quality, consistently, and then really position our employees to give the best service they can.
What are some of the innovations you're most excited about for the next 12 months?
Next 12 months? Well, I really think we're going to see a lot of improvements around our title production capabilities. I think that gets really exciting. I think even so that's up front first. I think that will allow us to really further compress the time that it takes to deliver a title commitment. I get really excited about that. And again, we have instant tools today that we can provide a snapshot of. Here's clear to close, ready to go, whatever it may be. But even in on that back end process too, I think we can get a lot more succinct on document QC review with AI tools, speed it up, shoot out information more quickly than what we can today using a manual process. So I get really excited about those tools. And then honestly, I think part of it is just to see what other tools get adopted and brought into the environment, right? I think, and I'm not an AI expert enough to explain all the tools that are out there from a coding perspective, but certainly, I remember I've been in this business longer than I care to admit, right? But integrations used to be something I was like, all right, we got a 6-month project now to figure this out. It's going to cost all this money, and even just some of the analysis that we did internally around tools that help with coding. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? How fast it can expedite that overall process. QC your code, identify your errors. You might have 7,000 or 70,000 lines of code you got to review, and if you have an AI tool that can help you analyze that, I mean, just think about the number, how much time that saves, and how much faster that can allow you to interact and integrate with your customers. So I get really excited about that, and seeing where that will what will happen in the future for sure.
You guys have a ton of stuff coming out. It is great to hear. And like you said, we'll see where AI takes a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just delivering new software. It's people
Right.
have to change. It's changing the nature of work.
It
It's
does.
changing the
Yep.
tools that people are using, how we're integrating, how we're collaborating. But it is a very exciting time. You
It
also
is.
have a number of conferences coming up. Where can people find you? What's the best way they can get a hold of you?
Right. So we will be at the MBA annual convention here in Las Vegas starting on geez. Uh,
October.
October
Yep.
19th we'll be there. We are exhibiting. We have booth number 513. Always welcome to stop by. I'm always happy to talk with anybody that's listening to this or wants to talk about our chat today or wants to talk about AI. You know, AI is a fascinating thing. Again, I do not pretend to be the foremost expert on it, but I'm always willing to learn and see what other people are doing, how they're using it. But yeah, certainly stop by and see us at our booth. Also see us online. We have a LinkedIn page, WFG Enterprise Solutions, has all our contact information, webpage at the same name, or you can always contact us at wfgls.com.
Awesome. Dan, I can't thank you enough for being a guest on this episode of the FinTech Hunting Podcast.
My pleasure. Thanks, Michael.